Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Vinyl Hazard. I am Daniel, and today I got a pretty sturdy update to give you. A lot of records, things like 11 or 12, so I'm going to blow through this update as quickly as I can so I don't spawn a 30-minute video. So let's get right into it. First album I want to show you is this band, Cloak. They are a band from Georgia, United States. Georgia, the state in United States. And this is a band that I think they began their career rather recently, 2013. And this is their second album, I believe. I started to listen to this album on Spotify and instantly fell in love with it. This is a special edition of this record. It's a gold variant. Let's see if I can get it out. Nice. And there you can see it has been made in 400 copies. Yeah. So, Cloak, how could you describe this band? They're a band that has kick-ass riffs. They're like a black metal band with a touch of rock. Yeah. Yeah. Black metal with a touch of rock. This is the inner, or not inner sleeve, but like a folder, and the band members, you can see there. Yeah, kick-ass guitar riffs, amazing drums, really a standout band. And this album came out this year, so I would rank it probably along my top 10 of this year. New albums of this year. So Cloak, check them out. Next one, we are going to go to Europe and France with Alcest. And this album is from 2016. It's called Kodama. And it's Alcest's fifth album. They were a band that formed in 2000. Yeah, in 2000. So they have been around for, well, quite some time. And it's heavily inspired by Japanese anime and Japanese popular culture, especially the Studio Ghibli Miyazaki universe. And I think particularly the movie Mononoke Hime. So it's kind of an album with a little bit of you could say environmental aspect to it. Here we have the inner sleeve. And the lyrics, well, you cannot see it, but they are in French, of course. And yeah, so like Alcest is kind of a music which it's like a fusion of black metal and alternative rock, you could say. Apparently, if I did my research right, it's called black gaze. I've never heard the term, but that's what it is. It's an album which have very melodic parts, sometimes rather slow parts, and sometimes very fast and technical parts. Very different album. I can highly recommend Alcest. I have one album which I purchased some months ago, which I've listened to for 2 or 3 times. Really nice music. Alcest. And let's go to Finland this time. Insomnium. Great band, great melodic death metal band. Really actually a rather new discovery for me. I saw this band on YouTube, or rather discovered them there, and they were playing some festival or like a small venue, and instantly fell in love with the music. A really terrific band, a nice gatefold. This sort of symbolizes Finnish melancholy, which is, well, I guess you could say it's like happy, depressive music, if that makes sense. Water. This album, Shadows of a Dying Sun, is from 2014. It's their sixth album, I believe, and it's quite long, over an hour. Very well. I will not show the LPs; they are black, but very. I do not know how to put it. They are a well, you just have to see. For me, they are a relaxing music, simultaneously as they are a fast band, or yeah, I cannot really explain it. But give this album a try, or look them up on like YouTube or Spotify. Great band. Next one is probably, I would dare to say that this is in my top 10 album of all time. Disregarding, not disregarding, but of all genres, this would be in my top 10. And I think it is in the top 10 of many people. Blackwater Park, the quintessential Opeth album. Or at least it is for me. Let's take this one out from the outer. So, Blackwater Park. What could you say about them? Or about Opeth? So, Opeth's an old band, right? They were formed in 1990. They are from my home country of Sweden. And Blackwater Park was an album. It's their 5th album, and it was released in 2001. And this album is like the breaking point of when Opeth went a little bit to the melodic side of death and progressive metal. Like, it's more of a death metal album than it is a progressive metal album, but you can hear like the tiniest instances where you hear them change the sound to where they are now. It actually was produced by Steven Wilson from Porcupine Tree, and that should probably explain a lot. He and Mikael Åkerfeldt are very good friends. This is a very lovely gatefold. And this is also a very nicely produced album. Very thick folder. And this is just like kick-ass artwork. There's also a lyric sheet in here somewhere. It's released on Music on Vinyl. And you know what that means, folks. It's very good quality indeed. When I played through this, I did not hear any sort of distortion, not a pop, not anything. It was super clean. I mean, vinyl on music, or music on vinyl rather. I don't know how they do it. Their quality is astounding. I mean, I have bought records from many other distributors. They sound like crap, some of them, which I do not know. I mean, they should have some sort of like quality testing. I believe they have, but I don't know. Probably, well, music on vinyl, perhaps they are simply better at it. Anyway, Blackwater Park, superb album. Let's see. Now, another one, but not Opeth this time. This is a band called, let's see if I can, I hope I did not botch this name. Eluveitie, I think it's pronounced. Let's take it out of the sleeve and not make it shine so bright. Eluveitie. This band was formed in 2002. And here we have them. A bunch of people. And this album is called Ategnatos. Ategnatos, well, make what you will of it. Came out this year. Also a very, very good album. I would say that it probably is in my top 10 also. Their music style is like folk metal, death metal, and they incorporate a lot of different instruments like flute, bagpipes, and like they also speak Gaelic in it. So some of the lyrics are pretty hard to understand, but it's very folky music. It's like you walk into a death metal tavern or something in the British Isles. Anyway, they are not from Great Britain though. They are from Switzerland actually. So yeah, Eluveitie, highly recommend it. Check them out. And a certain someone YouTuber recommended that I should own this album before it before it's out of press again, or anytime. Well, Possessed. Yep, it's their third album, Revelations of Oblivion. And so Possessed, I mean, they do not need an introduction. The innovators of death metal, according to some. I mean, United States, 1983, they released seven churches, which I have somewhere around here, and basically knocks it out of the park, create a whole new genre of music. And yeah, this album, it came out 33 years after their second album. I mean, this album could also qualify into my top 10 of this year. It was released this year, after all. And I mean, anyone know anything of Possessed knows the struggle of the main man behind this band, Jeff Becerra's. Jeff Becerra, for those who do not know, was shot after their second album and was paralyzed from the waist below. So he is sitting in a wheelchair singing right now. I think he played the bass, but due to also getting a hand injured in the same shooting, he could not do that anymore. But he still kicks ass like anyone I have ever seen. So yeah, gatefold with a lot of lyrics. So yeah, Revelations of Oblivion, Possessed. And next, it seems that my journey into the world of Judas Priest is continuing with Stained Class. And you know, for some reason, for the longest of time, I said Stained Glass. This must have happened to other people too, right? Or is it just me? Anyway, their fourth album. This is from, let's see, I think it's from 78. It should say here, yeah, 78, says right there, Sony Music. Yeah, it's a pretty dark Judas Priest album. A lot of dark lyrics. What was that? Oh, I see what this is. It was the download thingy. Does anyone keep those, by the way? Now when we have Spotify and everything. Yeah, anyway, so Judas Priest, no introduction, British heavy metal, everybody knows them, or, well, I am familiarizing myself with them, and hope they will come to Sweden Rock this year, because I have a ticket. I bought it today, along with 4 other tickets for my mates, who are going to hopefully go to the festival with me. We are going to go all 4 days. Yeah, I mean, it's only a rumor that they will come to Sweden Rock, but it would be very, very, very cool. Except it's also coming. Guess who's jealous now? Yeah. So, next one. And, gosh, I have like 3 more after this. So, let's take a little bit of water. Right, back to Sweden again. It's Sabaton, and this is the Art of War, rearmed, because it is a reissue. And a little bit of different artwork also from the original artwork of the Art of War. So Sabaton also really need no introduction. Formed in 1999 here in Sweden. It's stapled by Jocke Brodén, the main singer and historian, and along with his Sabaton members, they are also having a YouTube channel, which is called Sabaton History, for anyone who is interested. And this is probably the album which introduced me to Sabaton. The Art of War came out in 2007, and it's based a lot on the book Art of War by Sun Tzu. And as you can see, there are... yeah, the first track says Sun Tzu says, which is followed by probably my favorite Sabaton song, which is Ghost Division. Very, very sing-friendly. I've seen Sabaton on Bråvalla, the festival we had here in Sweden. It's unfortunately not active anymore. And the Ghost Division, it's always nice to see the crowd fired up to that song. So yeah, the gatefold, very nice, a lot of lyrics, artwork, and yeah, that's about it, I think, for those. Yeah, it's two LPs. I haven't really listened to this yet on vinyl, a lot of times on Spotify, but I'm going to take that for a spin later. Now, as you know, I were in Gothenburg last week and picked up 3 new records. Among all these I already had. And yeah, so let's go through them. I think I will take the obvious one first, if you have well, watched the video. And that is Helloween. Got this for a bargain. It was like $15, new, brand new. Reissue, of course, Walls of Jericho, their first album. Do not know what much else to say about this. I mean, it's a classic to many. Right after they wrote Keeper of the Seven Keys, part 1 and 2. And have been a staple power metal German band since, well, forever. Since, what, like... When was this released? 85? Yeah, it was. And the only thing I didn't get in this, perhaps it was because it was so cheap, is like a little folder or a lyric sheet. That would have been nice. But, well, the music is what is most important, isn't it? So Walls of Jericho. There we go. And the next one, I got not a metal album, actually. A Sinatra album. What do you know? I am a man of a large variety of taste. And Sinatra, you know, I appreciate the singing, the songwriting. It's like a classic. This September of My Years is a little bit of a special Frank Sinatra album. It was written when he was, or rather he had like recently turned 50, and he was about to get divorced, or well, he got divorced a couple of years later, and it basically, well, basically is about him getting on in the later stages of his years. The September of My Years is probably one of my favorite Frank Sinatra songs, so that is why I bought this album. Got it really cheap too, like I think it was like $11 new. And yeah, so a little bit of Frank, Mr. Blue Eyes himself. Now, the last one is Mastodon. I have looked for this album for a reasonable price for quite some time. Mastodon, as you know, from the United States, is a metal band which have spawned a lot of great albums, Eluveitie being my favorite, Crack the Sky, and actually I think their latest album, Emperor of Sand, is pretty good too. This album is Remission, and it's from, I would wager, 2002, yeah. So Mastodon makes a lot of concept albums, this being one of them. This album, though, there's something I hate about this particular, well, not this album, but this particular vinyl, and it is this. Yikes. Oh, it's the, no. So, anyway, I'm very happy to own this album. Now, the only album of Mastodon I do not own on vinyl actually is Leviathan. So I will try to get my hands on that one as soon as possible, but it goes for like insane prices. They haven't reissued that album for some years, I think. Well, they did actually reissue it for like 1,000 copies, and it was like, well, it disappeared in a day. But I'm not bitter. So, anyway, friends, this is it. A pretty hefty update. Blew through them. Quicker than I expected, actually. We are at the 22-minute mark. So, anyway, yeah, as I said, going to Sweden Rock. I was rather disappointed that I didn't go last year, so I'm not going to make that mistake again. Anyway, have a good evening, good day, good morning, wherever you are, and see you later, friends.